Great. Welcome, everybody, to this session where you're joined to hear about the fast track to global business leadership. And you will hear in the next 45 minutes or so about the program from Universidad Católica de Sacre Cuore. And my next presenter will say that better than me in strategic management for global business. Now, my name is Luc Mulling. I'm the moderator of today. And I want to show you just some interactive options that we have for you. So first of all, I saw already a couple of people doing that in the chat. You can say where you're logging in from. So by all means, let us know. And it would be great to see the diversity, of course, and see where you're logging in from today. But most of all, important, you can interact and ask questions, for example, as well. You can do that via the tab called questions. There you can write them at any time, and we will be answering the questions at the end. We hope we can do that, of course. Now, also, we have a poll open. I already opened up a question there. You can write there your feedback. We'd like to know a little bit more about you. For example, what is the most important part in selecting a university program? There will be more polls coming up throughout the session. And last but not least, we have a little other fun button. Yes, at the bottom of the screen, you can click on React. And that's where you can give your reaction of choice. If you hear something you like, for example, that's the one. Now, without further ado, let's go over to the presenters. We're going over to Milan, to Julia, and she will introduce herself and her panelists of speakers she has brought along. So good luck.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining this webinar with us today. I am Julia, and together with the speakers I am going to introduce very soon, we will go through this webinar together. So, first of all, the speakers and what we're doing today. So, the faces that you see, it's me again, and then there's Professor Maria Cristina Zaccone from Università Cattolica, Giulia Bongiovanni, a student of of this program, actually a current student, and then there's going to be a little interview with Alessandro Simone, who is an alumnus actually of this program. So we are going to ask him what he has done after and what he's doing right now. What we are going to go through today is, well, first of all, because not many of you may know about Università Cattolica and the Italian university setting and why you should study in Italy. We're going to go over a little presentation on why studying in Italy and why choosing Cattolica. We are going to go through the faculty and the program structure real quick with Professor Zaccone. And then we are going to ask some questions to Professor Zaccone as well, something not related strictly to the program, but, still interesting for you to know. And then we're going to hear from Julia, a current student. I apologize, Julia. I think I made a typo on your last name here. Sorry. And then we're going to meet Alessandro Simone again. And we're going to go over the entry requirements real quick because, most of you are interested in this. So we're going to prevent some of the questions that you may have answer before you even ask them. Okay. So thank you very much. And let's go over to why you should study in Italy. Well, I don't know if Italy needs much presentation in terms of how beautiful the country is, but let me reiterate on how beautiful Italy is in terms of landscape and culture. We have a very strong culture. We're in the middle of the Mediterranean, so it is a mix of ancient cultures and the way we, as a country, made it ours. We have a lot of different things that we are famous for, and well, most of you know we are very good food makers and winemakers. Few of you also may know that we have a very strong industry, especially the manufacturing one is very strong, and the made in Italy that we have actually we created in the late 50s after the World War is something that we're really, really proud of and generates a lot of income and value in our country. Also, as a Western European country, we have a really good healthcare system. And actually, one of the reasons why we at Cattolica we teach medicine surgery is because of the strength of our healthcare system. Also, it is very interesting for students who come from other countries to know that they are very well taken care of if they actually even if they ever get sick. So I always underline this. Um, Secondly, who are we specifically? Because you may know about Italy, but maybe you do not know about us. Università Cattolica del Sacro Cuore. Luke is getting really, really good at pronouncing it after all these webinars, but it's a very long, very Italian name, and we go by Cattolica actually. So no worries if you cannot pronounce it. If anyone asks you where you're studying, you just say Cattolica, everyone understands. We are a large non-state university. Actually, we are the largest in Europe, with 5 different campuses across Italy. The most popular one with the biggest part of the students is actually the Milan one, who you have seen at the beginning of the webinar. There's 12 schools, so that makes it a lot of a multidisciplinary university where you can intertwine different subjects and different classes pertaining to different schools. We have more than 40,000 students, and a good percentage of them are international students as well. We work with more than 500 partner universities. And the reason why we have so many international students is because we have a lot of English taught programs. I think it just made it to 50 undergraduate and graduate programs entirely taught in English at our university this year, with the introduction of criminology, which is another program that we had made a webinar on. Anyway, so as I told you, 5 different universities, and the one that you would be looking at if you decide to study strategic management for global business is the Milan campus. But we also have a campus in Brescia, in Cremona, and Piacenza. Especially Cremona and Piacenza are dedicated to the agricultural part of our school. Rome is home to our Policlinico Gemelli hospital, which means that it makes it a unique destination for students who are interested in pursuing a degree in medicine or related fields. So moving on, you might wonder why I should choose Cattolica. Okay, well, I told you that we're big. I told you who we are, but why you should choose us? Well, first of all, because we are a renowned private institution, it means that we have higher funding for research, making the academic quality of our work excellent. We have lower student to teacher ratio. And as I said, we have higher funding for research. So we are all about innovation and research. What we do is we try to make programs driven by innovation and research. Because we're private, we're also very much connected with the job market, and we're going to talk about it extensively a little later. Also, what I have just mentioned a couple of minutes ago is that we have 12 schools. So it's a multidisciplinary university. It means that you can find a mix of courses from different disciplines that you may not find in other smaller or more specific universities. Maybe a university that only does business may not have the multidisciplinarity that we have. Also, despite being this big, actually, our students have a very nice experience in terms of being welcomed, and they feel part of the community. They feel part of what we call the Cattolica experience. So also because I think we have an international student office, and we have student support services that we may also talk about a little bit of later. Last but not least, as I said, we have different campuses. We decide where to place a campus, where we decided where to place a campus directly based on what the local community needed. So we decided to place the agriculture school in Piacenza and Cremona because there the Food Valley um, is located in Italy. The same thing we made in Milan. We have an economics faculty, a management faculty in Milan because it is the the managerial center of Italy. There's a lot of businesses. There's a lot of finance also going on. So that's why we chose Milan as the home of our School of Economics. Just saying. So we try to stay connected to the local identity while hosting international students, while hosting international lecturers, creating a local campus. Okay. Also, we don't like to brag about these results, but we do love that we are ranked really high in the QS World University Rankings and the Times Higher Education World University Ranking. You can see that most of our schools are top 5 in Italy, and there is actually the business management studies. You see that it is in the top 300 universities according to QS, but it is the top 5 in Italy, as well. So very proud of that. Thanks to our really close connection to the job market, we are top 5 in Italy in employer reputation, meaning that our companies, the companies that we work with, they recognize the quality of our graduates and our students. So we are very proud of that as well. We have a lot of internship agreements, and you see the numbers are really stunning. Actually, more than 25,000 companies that are registered to our portal. So we work with most of the biggest companies in Italy and Europe, actually. So that's another thing that I think is worth considering when you choose where to study. But we're here to talk about the strategic management for global business programs. So I would ask Maria Cristina Zaccone, our professor, to go over what the program is real quick so that we can know a little bit more about the program itself.
Thanks a lot, Julia, for the introduction, and welcome to everybody. What about this Master in Strategic Management for Global Business? What are the main contents of this program? Let's start with a definition of strategic management. What does it mean to strategically manage a company? It's a long process that involves, first of all, the formulation and then later on the implementation of goals. So it deals with strategic planning, strategic analysis, strategic decision making, and even strategic action, all strategic activities, thanks to which it's possible to ensure that the company, the multi-business company, is well positioned effectively to achieve its mission and face internal as well as external challenges. So this program is mainly designed to ensure that students can analyze and understand business challenges, so challenges that typically occur within multinational businesses, to later ensure that they can excel in roles that require strategic thinking in every kind of decision making they have to deal when they within their future career. A second important feature of this program is that it breaks language barriers by being entirely taught in English. So opening doors to individuals that come from various backgrounds, not only educational background, but also linguistic backgrounds to participate. So you're gonna be immersed in a multicultural learning environment. And another important feature is related to the practicality of this program. Many are the different challenges that currently companies are facing, and through the program you will be able to also practice on real workshop, on real business challenges that are actually led by senior managers and executives. And lastly, you're going to be able to quickly enter within the world of work by not only developing hard skills but also soft skills. A few additional features that are important to understand. First of all, it's a first level graduate diploma, first level, and not a second level graduate diploma. It's entirely taught in English. It's open to anyone who need to have actually a bachelor degree in any kind of field, whether it is an economic background or psychology background or a law background, it's fine. The most important thing is that the person has a bachelor degree. And it is a program thanks to which it's possible, as I mentioned before, to navigate into the different challenges that currently affect businesses and multinational companies, able to connect people that come from different backgrounds, as well as to connect such people to managers, professionals, to consultants who are currently working on multinational companies, and promotes a hands-on learning approach. Why? Because in many of our courses, there are many working groups where the student doesn't only have to study this subject, but also to solve a real problem of a real company. What about the structure of this program? It is divided into three main parts. The program typically starts in October. So for the next academic year, it's going to be October 2025 with online courses in order to prepare all the students, even those who do not have an economics background, to understand all the contents that are going to be delivered throughout the whole program. And then there is a second part, which is actually the main important one, with in-presence classes that are going to start in November 2025 and are going to end in May 2026. And lastly, there's going to be an important additional part, which is the last one. It's a final project where actually the student can choose how to customize its own learning path, its own learning program, either by doing an internship or by developing a business plan or by developing a research study. What else? What about the faculty? Here you see the director of the master program of the graduate diploma is Matteo Pedrini. He's also the director of Altis Graduate School of Sustainable Management. There is also me as a professor of corporate strategy as well as of sustainability, and there are even many other professors. Some of them come from the field of academia and they do research. Some others actually come from the field of management, of consultancy. So there's a good mix of both researchers and experts from the industry. What about for opportunities for hands-on learning? As I mentioned something before, but apart from lectures, actually within each lecture is taken by the professor, there is a plenty amount of guest people, managers, professionals, industry experts that come in order to share with the students all their knowledge and experience on a specific topic. Then we even organize hackathons. For instance, last year, we organized an hackathon with L'Oréal in order to ensure that students can, again, provide to specific companies a real strategic solution to a specific strategic problem. We also have in specific courses, one of which is corporate strategy, lab of practices, where instead of just developing hard skills, students can actually practice by tackling a specific challenge, such as the challenge of acquiring a new business, acquiring a new company. And then they have to propose such specific proposal to the top management of the company. We have also company visits. We have even seminars which actually are very liked by our students, seminars in order to ensure the personal branding of the students, where companies are available in order to check the CV, the vita of the student, as well as to conduct a speedy speech in order to simulate a colloquium, a session with an HR, with a recruiter. And lastly, we offer internship thanks to the collaboration of our graduate school with many businesses, both multinational as well as even SMEs here in Italy and around the globe. What about the main career opportunities of such master degree? Typically, these kind of skills are those required from consultancy firms. That's why the main career opportunities for our student is the strategic consultancy. Then we have a second career opportunity, which is strongly considered by our students, by those who graduate from this program. That is a multinational company. In this case, it's not the strategic consultancy, but the multinational company. And the student typically join one of the many different departments that actually are within multinational companies, typically the sales department or the business development department, sometimes even the HR department, since the field, the disciplines that students can deep dive through this program are related to strategic management, so to the different disciplines related to management in a real multinational company. And then sometimes even other choices are taken by our students. Some, even though there are few, they decide to join the staff of the top management because of this specific ability to strategically think and help the top management team in order to execute the corporate strategy. And sometimes they even decide to do a startup, to create, actually to fund a startup, their own startup, and be an entrepreneur, because within the program they also have the ability to deep dive into even contents related to how to set up a startup and scale up it. And this is what I wanted to say. Actually, I know that actually now Julia is going to deep dive into additional things, and I'm open to have this conversation on specific topics from Julia.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for such a nice introduction to the course itself, but I wanted to get into some juicy questions that I prepared for you, and I know our students always ask these questions. So could you please tell me, how does this Specializing master equip students to navigate the challenges of, the increasing complexity, their rapid innovations, the evolving market dynamics? So how do you think this master equips students to navigate these challenges?
Thank you, Julia, for the question. Actually, the master provides extensive knowledge about management, the management of global businesses that operate globally. For instance, certain courses are related to business strategy, corporate strategy, sales strategy, digital strategy, and even strategic marketing. So all disciplines related to management through a strategic approach. These subjects are essential nowadays for understanding the complexities of international business. And additionally, then the program also emphasized the development of skills related to even economic and finance, of course. I mean, for instance, we have within this program even the course of financial accounting, managerial accounting, and even corporate finance, in order to ensure that the student is able to assess business performance and then make informed strategic decisions.
Thank you very much. What do you think distinguishes this Specializing master from other strategic management programs?
Thank you for the question. Actually, it stands out from other programs for its highly practicality as well as a career-oriented approach. I'm going to talk about practicality. I mentioned something before, but many are the courses within this program where we have labs where students actually can face real world business scenarios, real case studies, real problem solving exercises. And secondly, what about the career-oriented approach? At the end of the program, I mentioned it, but the student can choose how to customize the learning path, the learning experience, and the most important, actually, the relevant, the main way. In order to customize the learning path is by choosing, of course, an internship. And this is strongly recommended by this. Actually, it's within the thing that the student needs to do. And to enhance such employability, so the career orientation, then the program also offer CV check, speedy speech sessions, all initiatives that refine the personal branding of the student, his or her ability to communicate, his or her ability to be interviewed, so preparing the student to stand out in job applications.
That is very interesting to hear, and that's absolutely something that, in my opinion, it really stands out from the rest of the probably the programs that you might find in other universities. So, are there can you share an example of how students apply their learning to a real business scenario?
Yeah. For example, I'm gonna talk about corporate strategy course. And this course, apart from studying, of course, the contents, the students they have also to work collaboratively to analyze a real company. I cannot actually say the name of the company. Actually, every year we change it, but this year the company is in a company that works in the IT industry, and they have to develop a strategic proposal and then present the strategic proposal to the chief executive officer of such a company. For instance, they can choose whether to propose an acquisition or a merger or even an internal development of a specific business unit. And this is a way through which, first of all, students can learn what does it mean to develop a strategic proposal, and then also to correctly communicate such proposal to a person that actually is leading the company. And I think that this kind of approach actually doesn't occur only in the corporate strategy, but even in other courses such as entrepreneurship course, such as business planning course, as well as sustainability courses. And students really have the possibility to face real challenges, collaborate together, collaborate with companies to develop innovative solutions and address actually what really companies need nowadays: proactiveness.
Thank you very much. So a couple more questions. What qualities define the ideal student for this program? What do you look for when you evaluate profiles?
The ideal candidate should be obviously someone who is highly motivated. Secondly, globally minded, so with a global mindset, as well as with an eagerness to develop a strategic mindset. Then again, the ideal candidate should also be willing to thrive in a multicultural setting, since our classroom is not made only of Italian students. Actually, we have many students that come from all regions of the globe. And the ideal candidate also should also enjoy to collaborate with peers that come from diverse backgrounds. And probably I didn't mention, but of course, since the program is entirely taught in English, then they have to prove proficiency in English, either through a valid certification or through an interview with the master committee. And lastly, most importantly, all applicants need to show a strong motivation to excel in the field of strategic management.
Yeah, we were gonna touch on the English requirement later on, but you said it before I could. So thank you very much. Yes, English is very important. Thank you. And if you had to summarize in one sentence why students should choose the specific Specialising master, what would it be?
the fact that it's possible to quickly enter into the job market, specifically in strategic consultancy firms, but also in corporate roles, as I mentioned before, in different departments, mainly the sales department, mainly the business development department, but even other departments. It's a program designed to those people who like to think strategically and to develop strategic thinking abilities to make one day a real impact on the company's success. As well as it's a perfect choice actually for those who want to have an immersive learning experience. And so I really suggest to those participants who want to build a strong international network to enroll to this program, since it's mainly characterized of specificities related to cross-cultural competencies to excel one day in an interconnected business world.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Professor. I think we can go over Giulia and Alessandro. And I would like to start with Giulia, just because Giulia is a student as of now. So I want other students to be able to listen to your experience. And then, of course, we're going to go over to Alessandro, who has been a student. So we're going to hear from him as well. Also, ladies first, always. So that's a rule. I don't make the rules, sorry. Giulia, could you introduce yourself, telling us where you're from, what was your academic or professional background before joining the program?
Thank you for your question. First of all, thanks for having me here today. I am Giulia, and I'm from Milan. I was born and I grew up in Milan. And I don't have the canonic academic path that one might be expecting from someone who is currently studying strategic management, because I have a bachelor degree in philosophy. So I come from a completely different background. But as Professor Zaccone was saying before, this master is truly for everybody.
Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, not the usual academic path of a strategic management graduate, but that's interesting. So what motivated you to choose the Specializing Master in Strategic Management for Global Business over other options, considering that you come from a philosophy background?
Well, the factors that made me choose this master obviously are multiple, but if I had to say, the main factor is the wide variety of courses and subjects that this master offers to its students. Because coming from a completely different academic background, I needed to have a well-round information about the well-round learning about the fundamentals of the managing and the management field. So. And I think that the Strategic Management for Global Business program was the only one who could provide me this type of well-round knowledge, because the master's tries to cover as many areas related to the management field as possible. As Professor Zaccone was saying before, we have courses of corporate strategy, but also related to the more quantitative subjects such as accounting or finance, but also marketing. So the main characteristic I'd say is the wide variety that I could find only in this master's program.
Thank you very much. How would you describe your learning experience so far? What aspects of the program have been the most challenging, coming from, a completely different background? What were the most interesting parts of this master so far?
Well, first of all, I would describe my experience so far as great. Actually, I am enjoying it a lot, both from the point of view of the lectures, the relationship with the professors, and also the point of view of the colleagues, because we are 34 in our courses, so it's easier to create strong bonds with your colleagues, and this kind of relationship also is the work that you have to do during the work groups. So knowing a person both professionally and personally helps you and benefits the overall work that you have to do, because for the future students, you as Professor Zaccone was saying before, you will have to do a lot of work groups, and I think that the most challenging thing that I faced, and I'd say I'm currently facing, obviously, is learning from scratch a completely different field. But I think that the master made it easy for me. So it wasn't as impactful as I expected it would be. But the most challenging part is definitely the old work groups experience, because you have to translate from what you learn theoretically during the lectures into practice. Well, for someone coming from I think the most theoretical field that there could be, which is philosophy, trying to translate a theory into practice is something difficult. I had to learn it, and I think I'm still learning it nowadays. But it's challenging, also in a positive way, because you only translating theory into practice, you can really understand if you actually understood or not what the lecture was about. So I think it's challenging more in a positive way.
Yeah, if it makes you feel any better, it's not only a challenge of those studying psychology. Even if you entered the job market and you studied economics, there's still so much that you have to relearn from scratch. Also, the way that you have to actually take what you have learned and put it into practice. It's not really easy, even if you come from a more quantitative background, I would say. So thank you very much. Just one last question. What advice would you give to prospective students considering this program? And then we're going to go over to Alessandro.
Definitely try to exploit as much as you can all the opportunities that this program gives you. And I'm not only talking about the work experience with the groups or the lectures. I'm talking about all the extracurricular activities that the master offers you, such as the speedy speech, the civic coaching, also the seminars. We are currently attending a seminar of professional and personal development, which is really interesting because you're able to understand yourself both personally and professionally, what you want to do in the future, what kind of professional would you like to become and how to do that, your weaknesses and your strengths. And I think this is really, really useful. So, and the master really offers a lot of these opportunities. So my biggest advice is to try and get the most out of all these opportunities, because I think that you can't put a price on how they are useful for your future professional life, I'd say.
Thank you very much, Giulia. And going over to Alessandro, again, can you introduce yourself, share your current role, what your industry is?
Yeah. So thanks for inviting me. It's a pleasure coming back 7 years with my mind to what was for me the master. I'm Alessandro Simone. I'm currently the country manager of One International Italia, which is a subsidiary for Italy and Europe, for one of the biggest, maybe the biggest in the Middle East, company that is handling in the FMCG. So we are exporting from Italy and Europe, from the Malpensa center to Middle East, the fast-moving goods that are then showcasing into the retailers and malls into all the Middle East. Yeah, this is basically what we are doing here. Given also my experience and thanks also to the master, I'm setting up the sourcing unit for Poland now. Just landed 3 hours ago from Warsaw, and that's more or less what we're doing.
Okay, thank you very much. What led you to choose the Specializing Master in Strategic Management for Global Business, Alessandro?
So basically, I got an experience before the master as a the tools required for complete my background as a consultant. That was a good chance, and actually the master provide all the key skills useful for being a consultant, considering all the wide program that the master itself has. Do not forget that it's 1 year, full 1 year, full immersion from theoretical and practices, let's say lessons, lectures, and also group and labs. So the reading what was the program of the master, giving what I would like to do at that time, so complete my background and capabilities. The master was the right choice in my opinion. That led me also developing more my CV, be able to join a consultancy firm right after the master that employed me for 3 years as a project manager in this consultancy firm. I was in charge for supporting the foreign company that would like to set up their business here in Italy and Europe widely. That's why I got in touch with this multinational company, and now in my role, I'm managing the company itself, given the background that I had, learning by doing also in this new position, and managing the 22 people in Italy and widely in Europe, 30 people.
Thank you very much. That's quite a nice career. So, were there any specific courses, projects, or experiences that helped you transition into your current role from when you were a student?
You mean which subject led me to this and were more helpful for my current career? That's what you mean, right?
Yeah. Basically, if there are any specific subjects or courses that you think helped you shape your career now.
Let's say, as previously has been said by the professor, actually the advantage of this kind of master, and specifically the master that we are presenting here, is that give you the key skills and capabilities, the basic background that is required in the job market for starting from the scratch analysis of a market, of a business, until all the, let's say, stage for setting up a new company, and then also be able to, let's say, managing during the core stage while the company is operative. So there is not a specific subject that I could point out that was that worthy more than another. Because the master it's set up so good that give you a proper overview. But what was more helpful for me for my career, actually, given my previous background, was actually project management. Before joined the master, I had no idea on what agile was, what Gantt chart was, and I used that on a daily basis in my previous career as a consultancy. And yesterday I updated my last Gantt chart for the opening up, setup of the Polish entity. So that's this among the other. But also HR subjects was very important. Currently, as I said, I'm handling and managing 22 people here on the ground in Italy and 30 in Europe. So having that soft skills and hard skills, the theoretical and practical that has been taught during the course, were very useful for my for building up my capabilities and being, I hope, a reasonable good manager today.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you very much. Did the network you built during the program play a role in your professional journey in
Uh,
particular?
yeah, my professional journey, I would say the most important things is to live day by day the master itself, because that was very a unique experience that you might not have the chance to repeat over the period. Because once that you get into the job market, everything comes to be hectic. You do not live close each other like you do in labs groups and so on. So the most important things to me, looking at my career, was the network that was building up during the master itself and right after the same. Uh, I will say I did not have that much chance to, let's say, listen on a daily basis and or get in touch on a daily basis with my previous colleagues. But right after the master was very important, grow up together and compare different paths and got suggestion from the colleagues of the master itself, from the masters, from the organizer, from the professors. Then, of course, the most important part of, if it could be called as a network, was getting into and be hired as a consultant, thanks to the internship arranged by the master itself. So also that one was crucial in my part, I would say. And that was through an application that I did through the career portal for the Unicat portal of internship.
Thank you very much. And so, what do you wish you had known before starting the master? What
I'm
is
sorry,
your
Julia,
advice for?
I'm
Yeah.
sorry, it was interrupted the communication. Can you repeat the question?
Oh, right. Yeah. What do you wish you had known before starting the master? So it's an advice for future students that we're talking about here.
Yeah, when I got when I received the presentation of the master itself, it was not that much clear to me. And also how much important were the labs groups that were crucial for my let's say the building up of my capabilities at that point. So maybe be more aware on the time splitting. I mean, I'm sure that now it's pretty well presented and stresses the point on this. But be more aware on the time that should be dedicated on the master itself through all the academies events and class labs and lectures would have been much easier to manage, because what the professor said, it's absolutely true. So it's not a master for someone that would like to just spend 1 year more to delaying your entering to getting into the job market. But it's a full day, about an entire year dedicated to it, and that's the only way that you could get the chance for exploit as much as possible the master itself.
Okay, thank you very much. The last thing that I want to ask you is, what do you think employers value most about graduates from this particular program? Because I think the students who are hearing from us today may be interested in what is the most valuable thing that this master can give them
So
in terms of
the practical approach, absolutely, because nowadays the job market giving for granted some hard skills in terms of preparation, theoretical preparation, like language itself, but also the skills related to the accountancies, project management, and all that stuff. Whereas the master give you the possibility for someone also the first chance to be proved on building up something practically. That's and then give us consequences also the capabilities of start looking at solutions. So
I think the connection is not that stable anyways, but okay.
I'm sorry. Can you hear me?
No. Yeah, it's just I think the connection is not that stable. It has been a little bit weird over the last 10 minutes, but that's fine because I finished the questions for you, fortunately enough. So thank you very much, Alessandro, for being here with us as well. I'm going to go over in the next slide. I'm going to go over the admissions requirement real quick because I see that we have some questions. So I would be happy to answer to them as well. So as Professor Zaccone said rightly, you need a bachelor degree, any field of study, as you have heard from Giulia Bongiovanni. It's accepted even if you don't have a background in business, it's fine. English proficiency can be shown via certificate, can be shown via Skype interview with the master's committee. And yes, I have seen a question on this topic specifically, so we are going to answer the question. Applicants who completed a degree program entirely taught in English may be exempted from a certification. I hope that answers the questions that we have. The third and most important thing, as Professor Zaccone already rightly said, is the strong motivation that you should show in your motivational letter. The attitude towards internationalization, entrepreneurship, management. So thinking strategically even before taking this master, I think is something that the master committee, the master evaluating committee, really appreciates in your motivation letter. Okay, let's go to the application timeline, tuition fee, and scholarship, as I think also Arianna was answering some of the questions that we got on the tuition fee, the scholarships, and then the round deadlines that we have. The next round deadline is coming up in a couple of weeks on the 26th of March. The final deadline is the 25th of June. There's an intermediate one on the 7th. The tuition fee is 12,000 euros, but there's also some scholarship options you can see on here, but you can also scan the QR code that you see on the right, and you can have a whole overview of what the program looks like also in terms of cost and how to pay for it. So I think we can go to the Q&A, and Luke, can you help me with that?
I surely hope I can. I think so. We do already have some questions, so I'll go over to those. Before that, just quickly mentioning to also people that are maybe watching the recording, because I know these days a lot of people do. So when you're watching the recording, you can still write your questions. So you can do that. Of course, we cannot answer them live, but we can send them through, and we will send them through to the staff of Unicat. So go ahead. And we'll now go through the questions. Zoe was asking, do we need to be in Italy between June and September if we don't do the internship?
Can I answer to the question?
Yes, we should.
Yep.
Go ahead.
Yeah, the most important thing is to be in Milano campus when the classes are taken. Okay, so from November till June, you need to be in Milano, of course, since it's mandatory to attend classes. But then for the internship, you can do it wherever you want to. So you can even decide to apply to an international company that doesn't operate in Italy. It's fine.
Okay. Thank you very much, Maria. Next question from Heuler, if I say that right. He asked, can I get into the university being an athlete and while only having high school?
Well, you have to have a bachelor degree for this particular program, but I think you can, if you want to do an undergraduate program and you're an athlete, you can ask a specific question regarding to what you want to do, and you can write us an email at the email that I'm going to show later. Thank you very much, Luke, so that we can evaluate your situation together and maybe we can give you some advice on how to proceed. But this is a program that you should attend only if you have your bachelor's degree or if you are about to complete a bachelor's degree. So if you only have a high school diploma, it's not going to be enough for this particular one. But we have undergraduate degrees as well. So absolutely do shoot us an email.
Okay. Hope that helps. Anya has a question. I submitted my application for the program on December the 16th, on the first day it opened. I was wondering if you could share when do we expect can we expect a response?
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, yeah, we have Pietro with us. So yeah.
Yes, maybe I can answer if you allow me. So my name is Pietro Tedeschi. I'm the program coordinator for the master. So I'm the one who cares about the logistic details, so the organization of the master, and I will be the one who, you will have if you choose to apply to the master, you will have your interview with. And so it is totally my fault for this delay. I'm sorry. I'm really happy that you really stick to your motivation to apply to the master. And you should probably be contacted in like tomorrow. So in the next days, we had some delays with the organization, but we are we're planning like daily interviews for all the applicants.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you. Next question from Fabrizio. How is the Academy managing the implementation of the European AI Act? And okay, and does it make research difficult? I don't know if there's a question we can answer right here, and if that's. But Maria Cristina, do you have anything to say about that? Maybe in terms of the
I didn't understand
content?
actually the question. Yeah, I didn't understand actually the question. The thing that I can definitely say is that since the last years, we integrated a seminar on AI, artificial intelligence, to ensure that students can better use actually such technology into within their future career. But then, yeah, actually, it's a master degree. It's a program. As main core business, as main field of study is strategic management. It's not definitely how AI should be used actually in companies. So we have a seminar on that, but so it's not an AI master. Okay, it's a strategic management master.
Okay, hope that answered the question. Otherwise, let us know. Raymond is asking about the English test. Is a STEM test like IELTS, TOEFL compulsory or Duolingo? And can an applicant who studied her in a private studies English in English, be exempted, I guess, from the test?
Yeah, as we already said, and also Professor Zaccone already reiterated on this concept that you only are required a certificate or an interview with the master committee if you do not meet the English proficiency. So if you have studied your bachelor's in English entirely, you are exempted, particularly if your means of instruction was all English. You just need to present a certification from your previous university, previous institution, saying that you studied your whole degree in English, and that would be enough.
Okay, good. Thank you very much. I'm going to also share a link. Actually, it is now available under links in the section where you see that below in apps. So I'll be sharing it on the screen in a second as well. Right. Now, that's just where you can find more information. So if you need to look up more requirements, then please do click there so you can at your own pace after this session read it through. Next question, though, we have is from Parvis. How can I write motivation letters that impress the university experts and also create a winning portfolio? Anything to say about the motivation letter?
Well, yes. What I would suggest is to make it as personal as it can be. So, as everybody, we are humans, so we like to read stories, and we like to read stories that relate to what you're going to study in this program in particular. So, if there is something interesting, peculiar that happened to you and led you to consider a path in strategic management, then absolutely write it down. I think it makes it stand out from the competition. You know, if you write a motivational letter just saying, "Yeah, I want to study strategic management because I would love to get a job." I mean, everybody needs a job, right? Right. So it's not that impressive. But if you say, I don't know about, I can't make up an example right now, but if there's something that really motivated you, something in your personal life, in your student life that really sparked your interest for 2, 3 of the classes, 4 of the classes that you're going to take during this strategic management for global business program, absolutely write it down, and make it as personal as it can be. Also, not too long. I think we get tired of reading as well because we read so much. We have so much information. So I think another good advice is to keep it interesting but short as well, as short as it can be, of course.
Yes, great. Thank you. I hope that answered that question. And actually, Guglielmo, if I say that right, sorry about that. Is it mandatory, the reference letter?
I would let Professor
not.
Zaccone.
It's not
right?
mandatory to have
Okay.
a reference letter. No, what it's mandatory is, first of all, to have a bachelor degree, and secondly, to also write a cover letter, and thirdly, even to prove proficiency in English.
Okay. Actually, I thought it was. So for any other, for this particular question, please refer to the website as well, because the website says the correct thing 100%. So please refer to that as well.
Okay, thank you. Just to let you know, we are running to the end of the session, but yeah, I open up some polls, so do let us know a bit of the feedback as well through the polls. That is appreciated before you have to go. We still have a couple of minutes though for some last questions. There is one more I just saw from Raymond. Can a graduate of a higher national diploma from Nigeria be considered for this program? The higher national diploma.
No, what I'd say is, because it is something that we don't experience often. Please write us an email indicating what your diploma is, so that we can evaluate it with the international admissions team and see whether it gives you eligibility to the specific program. Because we don't get this kind of diplomas very often. So if you can send it out, that would really help us address your question, Raymond.
Okay. So let us know. There's the details on the screen, so you can find there the links that you need, and also the email, sorry, and approach the university. I think those were the questions we've received so far. Let me see if there's one more in the chat. No, that was answered. And I think then slowly we can round off the session. Yeah, as mentioned, thank you for your answers through the polls. I just opened up another one. If there's more information you're still looking for, then that's probably good also for the university to know, so they can get in touch with you. Whether it's about housing, careers, I see, cost of living. I don't know, is there anything you want to maybe still highlight, Julia, or anyone about these 3 points? Careers, I think we have covered, but housing or cost of living?
Well, for cost of living, I think it really depends on how you live. So, of course, if you want to live very close to the city center, very close to the university, in a double room apartment, then it's going to be spiking the cost of living. But then if you just maybe share an apartment with another student or stuff like that, it's going to lower it very much. So it really depends. What we say, it's to consider an average of 15,000 euros, well, accounting for accommodation and well, of course, eating and basic necessities as well. So that would be our average according to what students say. But of course, it really depends on the way you live in your home country as well. Because if you want to go out every night, probably it's not going to be enough still. So.
Okay. Thank you very much. I still have a link to share, so I'm going to put that on the screen because it's about the admission and tuitions. So I will do that right away. Let's see if I can still do that now. Yeah, and it should be on the screen. Right there, a link just received about the program. So just to have it there for you as well. And also in the link section, you can find it back. So this is something to let you know. Then I think we're done with the questions. I have one last poll question, but that's just to know how we did. So I'm going to put that on the screen. But in the meantime, maybe also Julia or the professor can wrap up the session and some last words maybe to the audience.
Yeah, absolutely. So thank you very much for every single one of you who stayed until the end. If you have any specific questions regarding your situation, if you're unsure, literally for anything that you might need from us, the international recruitment team is at your disposal at international.inquiry@unicat.it, and there's also the website. Just remember to check it because it gives you so much information. And that's it. We also have a phone number, so you can also call us if you have any questions.
Okay, great.
Thanks a lot to
Thank you
everybody.
very much. And yes, exactly. Thanks everyone, especially Maria Cristina. Thank you for your time, but also Julia, Pietro, and Alessandro. Thanks a lot for your insights. I'm sure that's appreciated for the potential students, and maybe some of them here joining in Milan next year. So thanks everyone.
Thanks everyone. Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.